All right. Okay. Good morning, everyone from Dallas, Texas. Actually, Grapevine, Texas. What a powerful day yesterday already with Build 2022. If you're a guest here from another brokerage, Build 2022 is an event that one of our business partners, Brent Gove, he puts on once a year. I think there's 3,500 people. It's just unbelievable. No way to describe it. And the power speakers and all the power speakers. And if you're a guest, as we say, this is broker agnostic. We don't, it's not all about EXP Realty, but that's our group. But all the speakers are peer to peer. It's people who are out there doing it. It's people that are out there. They don't even use the word downturn unless they're referring to what other people are talking about. You should see these businesses growing and developing, and I mean, it's insane. I mean, one guy yesterday, they do 1,500 transactions a year, his team. Um, it's incredible. And all peer-to-peer power. And that's the power of this organization, EXP, is the peer-to-peer power. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And it's just, it's, Joe throws out these trainings, and I wonder sometimes, we go, okay, yeah, okay, Joe, thanks. But really pay attention to those. I mean, every day, 7, 8 hours of this peer-to-peer power going on. I was showing someone around the EXP world on Sunday night, and I was showing them how it works. Someone that is a pretty prominent person, right? So I said, I took them to Australia. I took them to brokers' offices, and I said, here's how we do training. And I forgot that on Sunday nights it's for new agents, and it's introduction to the real estate business, right? So I clicked on the auditorium, just expecting to find it empty, and there's this big meeting going on Sunday night at 9. I think it was 9 o'clock, and I said, oh, I forgot they have this meeting on Sunday night. And I mean, what she was talking about to these newer agents coming in, I mean, one power thing after the other, boom, 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 boom. And I said, this is incredible, just incredible. So this multi-billion-dollar system is just incredible. And being out here with all the leaders is it's just a lot of fun, really pumped up. So anyway, have a great topic this morning. It's sad to see only 39 people showing up this morning. I know we have probably, I think all in all, there's about 16 of us out of the group out here. So, we got to figure out how to ramp these calls up, because what you're going to get today is going to be life-changing, I promise you. And here, let me share my screen, because I just see this over and over and over again. And I appreciate when people come up and compliment me, and of course it's good for the ego, and it's fun, and a little bit of good pride there. But someone come up and says, Fred, I just can't get over, they saw me taking the stairs. I'm on the 9th floor instead of taking the elevator. They see me, instead of taking the escalator up the 2 flights of steps, they saw me running up the steps at about 3 steps at a time. And the guy, he says, I can't believe it. He said, if I could only be like that when I get to your age. I said, you're making me sound old, man. There's no age when you're growing and you're green, because age has nothing. This, you may say, well, wait a minute, this is what this represents. This is older, and this is newer. Well, yeah, maybe when it comes to an apple, but when it comes to us human beings, as long as you're green and growing, you're never going to become ripe and rotten. It won't happen. This is Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, that came up with that statement. So, I want to start out today and ask you that first question. Really seriously, Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. I say the unexamined business is not worth having. I say the unexamined relationship is not very thrilling. Many of us, are in our relationships, as marriages or whatever it may be, and we never examine them. We don't say, let's get more out of it. Let's get more. What can we do? What can we grow? What other experience should we be doing? Let's experiment with this. Let's experiment that. So just always be growing, always be green. And so today I'm going to give you some tools of how to be green and growing. I'm going to again remind us. Let me go back here. Remind us what my whole life is about. Let me go down to our chart that just really quickly, because I'm going to speak to this again. We came off the assembly line this way. We got programmed this way. And how do we change all that? Because when we live this way, when we live with the left brain only, when we live with that parent brain, when we live with that brain that we were programmed with and not with the one we got here with, you don't achieve this stuff over here. You become it. Right? Not become it. You already are, and you discover it. You discover the layers of the program. And so in order to do that, you need to understand yourself, and you need to know what's going on in your life, and and who you are, and all that kind of stuff. And so there's this thing called the Enneagram, and I'm going to play this. Hold on one second. Make sure I shared my sound. Share sound. And I just discovered this for the first time with all my exposure to psychology and to personal development over the many, many years. Just about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when I went to Dr. Larry Marks's course. But let me just play this for you.
The Enneagram is a personality assessment which helps you identify your core motivations, fears, and drivers at work, home, and in relationships. It explains the why behind our behaviors, answering questions unique to you like, why do people describe me as intimidating when I don't feel that way? Or why is it so difficult for me to decide what I really want? Although its exact origins are unclear, the Enneagram has ancient roots dating back around 4,000 years, but became more widely used by psychologists in the 20th century. The Enneagram outlines 9 core types with different patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting. It helps you understand how you relate to yourself, others, and the world around you. Our accurate test takes less than 10 minutes to complete and gives you an overview of your unique Enneagram type. Over 50 million people have taken our test to date and have given an average star rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars. Find out why Trudy's Enneagram test has helped so many discover their true selves. Go to trudy.com/Enneagram and take our free test. And to learn even more about your Enneagram type and how it plays into your work life, relationships, and stress levels, upgrade to get your full 19-page report.
And I don't use that. I'm looking into that group now because they have so many other good things as well. But the one that is that you just go to Enneagram. Here, I'll put it in the chat. We had it in last week. Joe, do you still have that by chance? It's .org. I think it's. Let's see here. Let me. If you don't, let me see. I'll find it quickly too. If you don't, just shout out if you have it. It's the Institute here. I got it, Joe. Copy. Let me put that in our chat for you. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and do this, because it is very, very powerful. Chat. Here we go. Control. Definitely take the one that's $12. Okay, the paid one. You can take the free one, but don't do that. Take the $12 one, and definitely start examining that and looking into it and understanding it. Okay. And your personality. Let me just go back to this chart a second before we go there, because I am very sensitive to different people's belief systems. I promise you I am. No matter what your belief system is, I have a lot of respect and honor for it. And a lot of times is that when we start talking about these things, people get uncomfortable based upon whatever their belief systems are. And if I ever offend you, or if it doesn't line up with your certain belief systems, for instance, the Enneagram has been around, I don't know, thousands of years, whatever it's been. And some people say, well, it's of the devil, it's this, it's that, or you shouldn't try to figure yourself out. And but if that's your belief, I respect that. I honor that. I really do. But I would love to challenge it somewhat, because I know I lived that way for way too many years, and I was very comfortable in the box that I lived in. And I used to tell people that how wrong they were with their belief systems. and why their belief systems didn't work. I I tell you, the box was comfortable, but life was miserable. There weren't the clarity in life. It wasn't the answers because everything is so open. So I just added these to our heart chart today. I was just, because when we live over here on our program side, our left brain side, our parent side, last week we had Dr. Larry Marks on the programming from mother, fathers, teachers, and preachers. And it doesn't have to be just your physical mother only, but those that took that role, your mother, your father, your teachers, everybody who's had some kind of influence. And your preachers is not necessarily your religious influence only, but people who preached at you. But a lot of it comes from our religious experiences, right? Whether it's, I don't care what religion it is. And I'm a theologian, trust me. I studied it. I study it all the time, theology. I I have probably a doctorate in theology, so I understand theology. A universal theology is not possible. It creates world conflicts and destructions and wars and everything else. When you talk about theology, one world theology is not impossible. That's what this is about. This is about a one world experience of life. It's about love. It's about life. So a one world experience is possible. As human beings, we know what we want. We want love. We want joy. We want peace. We want kindness. We want meekness. We want temperance. We want self-control. We want to be, just full of joy, right? We want joy. So that's natural. That's already in us. So this ego, these are the things. And this Enneagram is going to help you tap to where you can start figuring out yourself over here so you can start living over here, right? Where you truly are. You are already this. You don't need to accomplish this. You need to get rid of this so this then starts shining. And this is different for everyone. I mean, if you saw my life on paper only, someone would say, "Oh my gosh, what a miserable life." But my life is not miserable. It is exciting. It's wonderful. It's here down here. A lot of people would look at my life. They go, "Oh my God, Fred, I'm so sorry for your misfortune. This and a that and a this and a that." I go, "What misfortune?" Now I started believing that, right, in 2016, and then 2017 with by the way, that course is coming up, the Living Course, the Real Course, September the 9th. 10th and 11th that we keep talking about. If you're interested in the Real Course down in Boca Raton, 3 days, a weekend. But once I took that, I realized I created my own life. I created my own world, and I had to go deep. I had to go find that little boy inside, blah, 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 blah. So, and I started unprogramming everything. I started unprogramming in the fact that it's all about sin and being wrong and judgments and sentences, and I'm stuck. And then I realized it was just all about everything was mistaken. There are mistakes happen, but all wrongs have been made right already. It was all about atonement that the whole world has, and salvation that the whole world, and that our whole job is to set ourselves free and to set other people free. And this on this side is all about sanity. This side is all about insanity. How many of you sometimes feel like your life is just insane? Like, I can't figure it out. And this Enneagram is going to help you tap all this. And this is where we're talking about just now. Don't be ripe. Don't be ripe. I do an afternoon call called Leveraging Your Business, and for an attraction purpose. And a lot of times I'll send it to someone. I said, "No, thank you. I'm not interested." How do you know you're not interested? Just show up. We had one of the speakers yesterday, the guy that sold 1,500 deals a year. He said, "I just drink the Kool-Aid. Once I get it," and it started out with the Craig Proctor seminar. He says, "As soon as I heard it, I said, I've got to drink this Kool-Aid. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going, and I'm going to take the courses." And he's just green and growing all the time. And then this here, never any misfortune. There's no misfortune in your life. You created it all. There's only miracles. It should be a magical mystery ride, as the beautiful song that John Legend sings, right? About love, right? I'm on your magical mystery ride. I'm on a little bit of a magical mystery ride myself at this point in my life. So this is what it's all about. So the Enneagram that we're going to be talking about today is how can we figure ourselves out? So I brought on this worldwide expert. She's world renowned for the Enneagram. You're looking at her right there. No, the reason I asked Thaisa, she is an attorney in Brazil. Now she lives in the U.S. now. She's an agent with us, paralegal in this country, practicing attorney in Brazil. But when she heard about the Enneagram, she said, "Oh my gosh, Fred, I've been doing that for so long." And then you'll start meeting people as they get into the Enneagram. Oh my gosh, they'll drive you crazy. What number are you? Oh, I'm this number. What's your wing number? So, you're going to hear about it. So she's going to tell you about my results in her own, and then tell you her experience with it, and what it's done for her life, her practice, and other people in her life, and and how she became addicted. So welcome, Thaisa. Good to see you.
Hello, good morning.
Tell them a little bit about your background quickly.
Yes, so like you said, I'm an attorney in Brazil, have been practicing in Brazil for over 20 years, almost 25 now. And 7 years as a paralegal here in Florida. And then also joined EXP once I became a real estate agent. I was in another brokerage, so I'm new to EXP, but I'm loving it, love everything about it, been really enjoying it. And it's true, I was exposed to Enneagram years ago, more than 15 years ago. And I not just did like a test, I actually went to an immersion. So it was really interesting. And ever since then, I became really addicted to it. It's like when you look at people now, not so much, but especially when you're first exposed and in the beginning, it's like you're looking at people and they have like numbers like, oh, I'm a 1, I'm a 4, I'm a 3. Oh, I think he's an 8. So it's all you can think about. You look at people and it's like zoom, 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 numbers in their heads. But it's a great tool. It is. It has been so helpful to me over the years. It changed my life back then. I still use it to help me not only with my own struggles, but to help me understand others in the work environment, with my personal relationships, in my family. It is a great, great tool if you know and you studied a little bit and you know how to use it, for sure.
So you want to pull up, you want to share your screen
Let me see. Oops.
So Thaisa, you and I worked together a lot once you joined, because you came in under me, and you and I did our onboarding, and we've had some coaching, and we had some other things going. What number was I right away when you met me?
I always thought you were either a 3 or an 8. So I wasn't that far. So
I didn't even know this. She was already numbering me.
Yeah, exactly. 3s and 8s are very active. They're leaders. So I'm trying to share my screen, but for some reason I'm having an issue.
The show down at the bottom, the green share screen, and then you want to click the left at the desktop, what you want to share. Apple or Mac?
I'm trying Mac.
Oh, you're on Mac. Okay. So
yeah.
You know what? You have a new computer, right? It's just
but I'm using the Mac.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Yeah, hold on. I know why, because you
see.
didn't do your security settings yet. We'll do that later. Let me pull up the chart. Hold on one second. I forgot about that. You were doing that. Let me pull up the chart. All right, here. Let me just see here. Give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to pull up the chart. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And then you could talk about it.
Actually, I put it. Yeah, I put it in my. But I thought I was going to be able to share it. Sorry.
So go ahead. If you want to speak to this.
Yes. So basically, like you mentioned before, Enneagram has been around forever, thousands of years. People don't exactly know how long, but it's been really present the last century. And basically, it is a system where it has personality types. So it believes that everybody in the world, no matter who, can be defined in those 9 types of personalities. And I'm going to talk a little bit just about what they are real quick. So maybe people can, I think I know a person like this, or I'm like that. So I'll start by talking about, we call it Ennea types. It's a short term. So it's the Enneagram types. So Enneagram type 1 is the reformer, which is the perfectionist. And that's actually me. We said we were going to talk about you and me. So when I first started Enneagram and I found out when I was being exposed and they started talking about, of course, they started with 1 as well. I identified myself so much in that Enneagram type that I was so sure I was 1 that even listening to the others, I was like, I don't even have any doubts. I am a 1. So what that meant to me by finding out that I was the perfectionist and the reformer is that back then that was so strong in myself that it was not allowing me to do things or take actions or move forward, because if being a perfectionist is good, but being too much of a perfectionist can stop your life. You never think something is ready. You never think something is good enough. You're criticizing yourself all the time. You're imposing extreme deadlines. You're always trying so hard to have everything perfect, and you expect perfection from others, which is also not fair. Not everybody's like you. Everybody's different. So learning about the Enneagram and using it as a tool for myself, I understood, oh, this is me. I can't impose this to others. So I definitely started using it as a tool to work on myself. And I've changed so much since then. I still have my my problems. I still can see something crooked. I have to fix it, but it worked really well in my relationships, in my work with my colleagues, because I could identify where they were coming from with their own issues, and our communication got so much better. And back then I worked in a tax law firm, and one of my colleagues also did the Enneagram course. So that was awesome because she also knew. She was a 6, by the way. And together we could figure out everybody in our office, and we could go like, oh, this deadline should go to that person because of their personality, they're going to do this so much better, or this should be done by this person. And we knew how to communicate really well in the office. Was a great tool. And I've been telling people about it for so long to help them. So the second is the helper. The helper basically is that person that we all have one of these in our families. That person when you go to their homes and they go like, do you want some water? Do you want some, can I get you something? Can I do this? They're always there to help. And that's what they're called, the helper. And sometimes we even think these people is a little bit annoying. But the thing is, if you go to a home and the person is like, can I get you water? Can I get you a bottle of water? Can I get you coffee? Until you just say yes, I'll have some water, thank you. That's it. That's all they want. They just want to be helpful. And usually they're great with philanthropy. They're great helpers around their communities. They're people that are always, always, always willing to put others before themselves. And when you identify yourself as the helper, the great thing about the Enneagram is that you start realizing, oh, hold on, I'm important too, not just others. I need to start thinking about myself a little bit, not putting everybody else's needs in front of my needs. So they start realizing that helping is great. And the necessity, they have this thing where they need to feel like people need them. But they realize that, no, I can't be always helping others as on top of me and on top of my being healthy.
Yeah,
so they work on that.
Thais, let me jump in here because I want to make sure, because we won't have time to go through in that detail. But and there's the perfectionist coming out for her, folks. She's going to go into every one of these at the end.
Real quick, I'll go real quick because I know people are going to identify themselves.
Yeah, but what I want to do, though, I'm going to tie this in a practical sense because we have real estate salespeople in here. Folks, let me tell you why this is so important. Is that for instance, when I started working with Thaisa, had I not, even before the Enneagram, I don't make any judgment. Or we all make judgments. I'm sorry, we all make judgments, but I discipline that because I don't know you. I don't know. And Thaisa, working with her to be very candid, I could have went, oh my gosh, she's driving me crazy. Oh my God, because what the questions she asked, and this and that, but that's who she is, and that's what makes her beautiful, right? And that's what and so when you appreciate the fact that everyone is so different, you can't live in judgment. That's why being, there's dogma, and then there's dynamics. There's a big difference. Dogma is, Thaisa, she's not going to make it. She just gets in her own way. But that's dogma, right? I can start making all these judgments. But dynamic, being a dynamic human being, this is dynamic when you have all these personalities and when you're interacting with them, what you're taught, like your law firm, right? That's so you know how to, and this happens with your customers. And you wonder why, you get frustrated with people. You can't get frustrated with anyone. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I wanted to put that in a practical sense.
It is true. Like 3, the achiever, which is Fred, according to his test. The achiever is one of the most successful people in the Enneagram. I mean, it is. They're achiever. They will do anything and everything. They will always thrive. They will always aim to thrive in their lives because that's what drives them. That's what drives this type of people. Number 4, it's the artistic type. They're very creative. Most musicians are number 4s. They're very, very deep emotional people. Number 5, we call them, it's the investigator, but only because they are the geniuses. They are those people that will study. They will study. They will know about everything, and they will specialize about something. And they will criticize you. So if you have a client that it's 5, you'd better come prepared, because they will ask questions and they will judge you for the answers that you give, because they are geniuses. So they want you to know what you're doing as a real estate agent. Number 6s are the loyals. They are very dynamic people. They're very loyal, they communicate a lot. They're very talkative. Number 7, the enthusiastic. My mom is a 7. Number 1s do really well with 7s. They are the forever child, the adventurous people. They are, there's always a 7 in a party, always. They are the ones that are flashy and that are the center of attention, very fun people to hang out with, but also very, very business oriented. So 3s and 7s also get along really well because they're so flashy and talkative and adventurous. They also are people that want to thrive in life. 8s are the generals. They're the leaders, the controller. So they are very powerful people, women and men. They are the ones that you see in front of a room, and type A, they control everything, they rule everything. And 9 is the peacemaker. They are the people that are always of the opinion, like, what do you think? Or what do you think? They're the ones in the middle trying to not be in conflict. They are great people. Usually a little bit on the slow side. They don't like to wake up early. They're those, we call them a little sloths. Like they're slow, but great workers. Not that they're not hardworking. It's just that maybe they like to start working at 11, not so much at 5, but they'll still work a lot. So the thing about the Enneagram is that the goal for us, we usually have a main type number that defines our personality, but they say that the goal is for us to be a little bit of a quilt. We should be a little bit of everything, not just one big thing. So once you start identifying yourself and working the things that hold you back, you start identifying a little bit of the strengths and the things that are good in the other net types that you could use for yourself. Every type in the Enneagram grow in one other type and they stress in another type. So when you do your test, like Fred, he is type 3 and he grows in another number and he stresses in another number. So I think for me, I'm type 1, I grow in type 7 and I stress in type 4. So what that means is I'm the best of myself when I unify my type 1 personality with type 7, like the strengths of type 7. That's the best of me. And I stress in 4, which means when I'm not in a healthy place, I think into some of the worst characteristics of 4, not a healthy 4, but the worst of them.
Yeah.
So same thing to the other Enneagrams. When you take your test, if you guys get around it, which I really think you guys should, then you will see there are little arrows and it will tell you, you grow in this and you're stressing that. And then you can read a little bit about what that means for your type. Because it's really interesting, especially when you're stressing some number to get away. 3, I think you stressing 9, which is basically not doing any of what you're thriving to do, not acting like you want to act, you just take things slower. It's very stressful for a 3 not to be, achieving something. You always have to be aiming for a goal and constantly active. So if you're not in a healthy place, we will see a 3 not doing what they're supposed to be doing, just chilling. And that's very stressful for a 3. So, yep.
And Thaisa, that for example, pardon me, if you look at here about self-awareness uncovers the patterns of behavior that subconsciously drive and motivate us and act in certain ways. When we make these patterns and motivations conscious, we are able to transcend them and develop richer, more supportive ways of being. So as a 3, I cannot, not that I can't relax, that's just I relax when I'm achieving. I relax when I take 9 flights of stairs versus the elevator. I relax when I, you've got to know yourself. The unexamined life is not worth living. You got to know your business. You got to know your relationship. If you feel your relationship is boring, it's not because you got married to a boring person or hooked to a boring person. It's because you're not examining it, because there's so much beauty in all of us, right? And we just don't ever understand ourselves, and this is going to help you do it.
And in real estate, we're dealing with people all day long, not other agents and our clients. If you go to a meeting, let's say you go to a listing appointment, and the person, your prospect client, is an 8 and you are a 9, you guys are definitely going to have some conflict.
Yep.
Because an 8 is a very imposing type, and the 9 is very calm and very not scared, but it's just like, hold on, chill. And you can be like that if you know Enneagram, and that's the beauty of the Enneagram. When you identify yourself, you can pull strengths from other types. So if you go to a listing appointment, as soon as you get there, the 8 is going to hold your hand really strong. It's going to be like, I'm here. What do you have for me? You can already identify what they are. And you're going to be like, oh, I need to step up my game. Hold up. Let me wake up. And this is how I'm going to deal with this person. If it's a 7, it's going to be a prospect client that's very talkative and very flashy. If you're showing a house to a 7, make jokes. Be flashy like them, and they identify, they'll like you. They want you to laugh. They want you to laugh at their jokes. They want to think they're funny. They want to think they're pretty. They want to, and so you can, use Enneagram for real estate. It's a very, very useful tool when you can identify the people you're working with and use that as a strength for yourself to communicate with these people. And also to grow your own business, of course, knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are.
And then when you understand yourself, you get out of these levels of frustration, or you get out of this fear. So we're going to now transition into something, and that is, it's one thing to have all this and that Thais is talking about, but then how do you go back and clear all the other blocks, right? The emotional blocks that are what I discovered in 2017 for the first time in my life, that, oh my gosh, there's a little kid living inside of me that doesn't know who he really is, right? Or doesn't know what happened. It didn't know how to, unblock all those emotional things and blah, blah, blah. So, Thaisa, thank you so much. The reason I want her on the show, that enthusiasm for this, to kind of light a fire with all of us. Then I have, whoops, your website didn't pop up. I just put Ro, did I have that right? rosaldi.com, right?
Yes, Freddie.
Okay, I should have copied it right. Hey, Joe, do me a favor, copy that from the HTTP, and then put it in so it's a hot link. So, Ro, where are you? Thaisa, thank you so much. Everybody give it
You're
up.
welcome. Thanks for having me. I mean, I'm always in the calls.
Yeah, thank you so much. Ro is very dear to me. I'll tell you, the relationship that we've developed from both personal and professional, as far as, I think, did I see Ryan on the call as well? Mr. Pink, we call him. Where is he? There he is. Look at him. Man, where's your pink, my man? We call him Mr. Pink. He always wears pink. But anyway, they moved from Vegas and became EXP agents with us. And Ryan's the agent, and Ro has her, she's a UC NLP and hypnotherapist. And Ro's coaching for me has been absolutely astounding. I mean, I wish I had, anyway, it would take me 2 hours to tell you all the stuff going on. Because, that's why you need, people were talking yesterday, Brent Gove, he was talking about how many coaches he has. What do you mean how many coaches you have? You're making $2 million a month. Why do you need a coach? Right? You need coaches in your life, right? So, Ro, thank you for what you've done for me. Hearing all about this Enneagram now, and what the one exercise Ro took me to was 2 hours. So we don't have 2 hours, but she's going to introduce it kind of and give you a real quick what needs to be done. So, Ro, you take it from here. Thank you for being on again. Appreciate you more than you know.
Thank you for your kind words, Fred, and thank you for everything you've done for us. So can I share the screen real quick?
Sure.
Perfect. Oh, there we go.
If you have sound, make sure you click the little button that says sound. Okay.
No sound. It's very simple. Cool. It's just very helpful to see visually what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna jump spring on the presentation we had a second ago. I just need to open. Okay, perfect. There we go. Just a second. Sorry. First of all, whatever Taisha, right? I'm not saying it wrong. Am I right?
Thaisa.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I don't want to butcher your name. Sorry.
Oh, this gringo messes up everybody's name. She's used to it. They believe it.
So first of all, I just wanted to jump spring on what you said. And I think it's really, really important to know yourself. There's something in NLP that's called mirroring. And it's pretty much what she said. I'll just give a quick tip, a suggestion anyway, which it's kind of gonna be a shortcut to whatever she said. I'm not saying don't do it, because then you'll know yourself. But remember, when you go to a client or whatever it is, whoever you're talking to, remember to mirror them. So if they speak very high and their tone is very fast and their their speech is very fast, mimic them. Or if they're using any right hand, use the right hand when you talk. That makes the other side feel like you understand them. It's called mirroring the other side. So just off topic. Anyway, I'm going to go back to that. It just sparked this in me. So 7 emotion release. I want to talk about this real quick. There is anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, and rage. Now, all of those emotions are usually imprinted in us, either, I know it's going to sound crazy, but either a past lifetime or before birth or in our genes or during our childhood, right? I'm going to explain it really quick, very easily. So I want you to think about a necklace, right? A necklace with pearls. So the first pearl that was entered into this beautiful, I guess it's not that beautiful, but this necklace is the first event. So this is the root cause. So let's say anger right now was implemented when I was a little kid, right? And this is where our brain coded anger. You were angry about what it was, whatever it is, this is where your brain coded anger. What happens next, every time we have that same feeling, we add another pearl to our necklace. right? So the more trauma or whatever it is that we have, our necklace becomes heavier and heavier. Now, what I do in the 7 emotion release, we go to the root cause. So the first event that happened. So you can take events that happen later on in life. So if I take this necklace and I take one by one, it's going to take a lot of time, right? I'm not going to release it from the source. But if I'll take the first pearl and push all of them out, I've released all of those emotions. So we go by them one by one. Now, why do you want to do that? Because what we don't understand that once it's been coded in our brain, we work by emotions. And that goes carried with us all of our life. You know how you triggered sometimes by anger, or you triggered by sadness, and you don't understand what's going on. It's usually this first event. So I like to explain it in a way that, imagine that you have a bucket and somebody comes and put a rock in it. And then somebody comes and put another rock and another rock, and it becomes so heavy that it's actually disturbing your day-to-day life, but you're not even aware of it because you're not aware of when it started. Does that make sense, guys?
Absolutely.
So this is a process that I do with my clients to actually release all of these 7 emotions. And what happens is, and it always happens with my clients, if they're ready for it, you also have to be really, really ready for it, right? So there's work that has to be done before. Because sometimes I went to clients and we try to release them and they don't want to let go of anger. And they'll tell me, I don't want to let go of it because it's protecting them from something. It's protecting them, it's protecting their pain. And once they'll release it, they're going to have to deal with what comes next. And they don't want to. So you also got to understand that it's not magic and you got to work your way through it. I always say something about self-development, right? Self-development doesn't get the stage that it should get. And it's for a simple reason. It's not measurable, right? It's not measurable. So if right now you hired a business coach and you have a business, or you decided that you want to increase your income, what you're going to do, you hire a business coach, change your system, hire better business salespeople. At the end of the year, you can see from 10,000, you went to 20,000, measurable, boom, there's a reward. Same thing with losing weight. It's measurable. If I'm 150 and I want to lose weight and I'm 130 after 2 months, boom, reward, right? Same thing with taking a test. It's all about number. It's measurable. You can see it. What happens with self-development, you can go to your friend and say, hey, look at my brain. Look at how much self-development I've done right over here. Can you see? And you say, wow, yeah, I can see that. So when there is no reward also for us as people to show to the other side, it's not as compelling. So you're kind of like, should I do the work? But who's going to see? But you're not doing it for anybody. You're doing it for yourself. And then what people do not understand and they don't comprehend, once you do that, everything else in your life just skyrocket up. It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Ro, that's not it. You're not going that quick, girl. Hold on a second. What you just said, again, is profound, okay? What I just heard you say, the reason that if I say this all the time, if I would put out, I'm giving you 10 magic ways to go get listings, I'd have 100 people on this call. I say, hey, let me tell you how do you become better as a person. I get 56 on the call. We're all looking for that magic pill. The only magic pill is within us. It's already there. Jim Rohn, work harder on yourself than you do anything else, and everything else takes care of itself, right? So what you just said, the reason you just gave me so much power and freedom, I want to choke people sometimes. Wake up. You're so wonderful. You don't know it, right? But yet now that just triggered something going, oh my gosh, I'm going to use that, because so many people avoid personal development. I've got a couple paid clients outside of EXP, and it's like pulling teeth sometimes. Now I just got it because it's not measurable.
Yeah, it's not measurable. Yeah. And we like rewards. Everything is reward. So you put the work, you want to see a reward, and you want to see something you can touch.
And true confession, when you took me through my 2-hour session, right, when you first started, and you said, "What?" But that pearl necklace is what made me understand it, right? And Ro, by the way, oh my gosh, her analogies, she gave me one, 5-6 months ago. that, you know, about just keeping a little index card. You have an index card in your pocket. Every time you start to go to that behavior, just pull out your index card and say, what am I going to do about it? Just put it back. And that little thing has just created magic for me. And then our session was what, just 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, around there.
Oh my gosh. And then is Sunny on the call today? Then it was Sunny's thing on the beach. And I can't tell you what's going on in my life right now. So between Rose's emotional release, I mean, this folks was it was so powerful. I thought a lot of it, like the real course, I dealt with a whole lot of other stuff, but it wasn't a matter of dealing with it. It was a matter of seeing it and understanding it. It was a matter of, again, we know enough already. None of this stuff is about knowing anything. It's about seeing, right? That's all from A Course in Miracles. You don't want to know anything else. You know enough already. It's all about seeing. And Ro, what you made me see after that session, I mean, it's just, it's mind blowing. I'm on a magical mystery ride here. You know, it's crazy.
So
Really crazy.
I'm gonna add something real quick. What all of us, I guess, don't understand unless you actually study it or understand how the brain works, is that we work by images and feelings. So everything you do is you think you're in control of what you're doing, but it's actually the emotion. So it makes you feel good, you do it. It don't make you feel good, you don't do it. But there's also something that is called TOTE, which is test, operate, test, exit. That's the short strategy of it. And it's a formula, so it's measurable again, right? So it makes sense. But the TOTE means, let's say I'm going to buy a shirt right now, right? And I have my strategy of buying a shirt. So I go, and you can take it to the real estate world, by the way. Somebody buying a house or deciding not to buy a house, and then you can understand how is the strategy working. But if I'm going to go buy a shirt now, because it's a simple example, I go into the store, I see, this is my strategy, right? I see a shirt that I like. It feels good, right? I like it. It feels good. I want it. But then my operation starts. Is it the right price? Do I have what to match it up with? Am I going to use it? Is it timeless? Do I really need it? Operation was right. I go back to test. It feels good. Then I exit. I buy the shirt. It's not a different process with a buyer that wants to buy a house, right? But some people will get stuck. So they'll test, I like the house. And then they're going to start operate, test again, and then continue to operate. So they're going to test it and say, is it the right price? Is the right location? Is the schools is what I want? Is the floors is what I want? Blah, 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 blah. Then they'll test it again. It feels good? No, it not feels good. So they'll go to operation again. But it has the right school. So it's not the best floor, but it's in the right location. And they'll go to test again. Eventually they'll exit or they won't buy the house. So the exit would be, I feel good, I buy the house. I don't feel good, I'm not buying the house, I'm exiting. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, you know what, I'm putting it in the chat. So it's test, operation, test, and then exit.
Yeah, and some people, their strategy is so long, and you can see it, think about people in your life and think about this model that I gave you. You know, those people that they need everybody's opinion to buy a shirt. It's part of their operation. And if in the operation, somebody said the shirt doesn't look good on them, they won't buy it. They exit.
That's, you know what, folks, what you just got there, if that doesn't cause you to make more sales and take more listings, because we get so hung up, first of all, with a personality, we write them off, they're mean or whatever. That tote is powerful. Now I remember it. You went through that in our session: test, operation, test, and then they exit based on emotions. So what you got to do, and my whole career, I was taught as a young man when I was 23, started the real estate business. My mentor was so great. He said, just keep in mind, people only buy on emotions, then they decide, then logic comes. People only buy on emotions, okay, not logic. And you can never overcome logic with logic. You have to overcome it with emotions. And that's why the powerful statement when someone says, you know, I can't pay you that kind of commission. I understand how you feel. Other people felt that way. Let me tell you what they found. If they went for someone because of a different commission schedule, they ended up getting something they didn't really want to get. With me, I'm going to make you money, Mr. Seller. I'm not going to cost you anything. I just got to their feelings, right? I understand how you feel. Others have felt that way. Let me tell you what they found. They gave into that and they based it on price and not value. My business is all about value. I will earn you money. I will make you money. I will not cost you anything. I know you said that 7% right there is a cost. It's not with me. It's an investment because I'm going to earn you an extra 10%, 12% because I'm that good. Now I'm just talking to their feelings, right? So that was powerful, Ro. Thank you for that reminder. Test, operations, test, exit. And then
And I
that's
will
all.
add that once you learn your own strategy and there's things that don't work for you, now it's in awareness and you can take them out. This is why I extract TOT from people to understand what's in the strategy is taking too long to exit. Because you can be in your head forever and operate, test, operate, test. And eventually you can shorten all of that and make faster decisions by understanding what you're doing. And then you can understand your client and understand it's almost like you're not manipulating them. You just understand how they think. So then you can ask them the right questions because you're not looking at it from your eyes.
Wow. That's good stuff, man. Now, you know what? That's amazing. Yeah, that is really good stuff. I'll tell you, just think about that in your practice now. You know, how many of you, well, no, you're not going to tell me honestly anyway, you're going to lie to me. So I'm not going to make you lie this morning. How many of you are KV Core is perfect? All right, for those, just one person tell me the truth then, just one. How many of you have a perfect KV Core? You know why? This is just dawned on me. Andres, take note of this, my friend. This is why we're having such a struggle with getting people to do what they should be doing. You know, I keep saying CRS, the Certified Residential Specialist. Average age in America, $42,000 a year. Average CRS, Certified Residential Specialist, $127,000 a year. You think everybody would have signed up and sent me a note and said thank you? No, they didn't. Why? Because they tested it. I don't want to spend the money and do the time. You know, I didn't make them feel anything. So what you got to do is like the personal development is the same as the professional development. You don't feel it because it's just, it feels like it's money and it feels like it's, you know, coming out here, I went, what the heck am I doing this? When I kept beating myself up with all I've got going on, you know, and I had some personal things I wanted to pursue, to be candid too. But, you know, I started, but then I started getting, I said, I know how I feel when I get there. And that's what I said. I almost canceled, literally. But now that I'm here, right? Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you for that reminder. Wow. All right. Dina, thank you for telling me that. Good. Anyway, hey, listen, someone said, I think it was Maria, said something about the disc. The difference between Enneagram and the disc, it's just mind-blowing, Maria, when you really get into the Enneagram and study it, and then how you have these wing personalities and what you should do and should, it's totally different. It's definitely a roadmap, but that roadmap, like Ro just said, is not going to work if you have all these, can you pull that chart up again? The 7 emotions. When you don't realize you have these things from events in your life, okay? Anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, and shame, and rage. You know, you got to get these released. Okay. So, Ro, thank you so much. Let me open it up to questions. By the way, Sonny has another event at the beach. I'm not going to be there this time. I'm going to be out of town. So you know, remember Sonny, put your website in, feelgreatmeditate.com, for people to connect with you again. Another one of my coaches now, Ro, thank you so much. Thaisa, you don't realize it. You're my coach. I'm not yours. And that's why I love coaching, folks, because everyone thinks I do it, especially when they pay me for it. I love it. I just got a check yesterday. Is that they think I'm doing it because I'm got all this knowledge to spread and give them a whole bunch of stuff. It's a lie. I'm being selfish because there's not one of you I haven't met, spent time with, that I've learned something, and I'm getting more out of it than anybody else. That's what a good coach does. They get more out of it. Right, Ro? That's why we do what we do.
100%. I always say that. I learn
right?
from every client. That's how I grow.
Yeah. And so many people say, well, you would never learn anything from me. That's not true. You know why? I tell everybody you can learn from, and nobody doesn't have a purpose. Even if It's only to serve as a bad example to humanity. Anyway, what fun stuff, man. I'll tell you what. All right, open for questions.
Not a question, but just which I thought was really interesting as she was talking about the 7 emotions. The Enneagram, it divides in threes and threes. So there's the instinctive center, the feeling center, and the thinking center, which is 3, 3, and 3. And it's also, like Rose just said, the instinctive center has anger, the feeling center has shame, the thinking, so the thinking center has fear. Like number 6s, which are in the instinctive center and fear, they're so indecisive because they always have a feeling that like their decision is not going to be the right one. They're very indecisive people because they have this fear that if they choose one thing, the other, they're missing out in the other thing. And it's all about the emotions, like Rose said. It's the anger, the shame, and the fear that controls our decisions. And the Enneagram also talks about that, which was very interesting.
And folks, I'll tell you, between the Enneagram and between Rose coaching, I just encourage you to have her as a personal coach and Sunny as a personal coach, because it's different. They both do the NLP, so does Sunny, but totally different. A different area of your life, a different segment of your mind is different. And as I said before about Ro, I was hoping I'd go there and she was going to put me to sleep and make me relax. And I was waiting for the watch. I said to her, I think it was the first meeting. I said, "Where's the watch coming out?" But it was so deeper and so much more powerful, and especially the release of the 7 emotions. It was incredible, especially the results. It's wild.
I want to add something, Fred, before, because people hear release of the 7 emotions and it might awaken some fear in them just about exposing it. The most beautiful thing about this process, you don't tell me anything. I just guide you through whatever it is, and it's all in your head. So I don't need to hear about your trauma or whatever it is, what was implemented, which is very important because some people are not, they feel they don't want to share, right? It's very, very vulnerable places. I don't need to know. It's pretty much happens in your head. I guide you through it. So I think it's very important to people to know that. That's the most beautiful thing about it, in my opinion. So it's not therapy. It's not a psychologist that we sit and talk. It's a little bit different.
Right. I froze up, didn't I? Am I back? Yeah, my internet stable was unstable. It said. I was just ready. I'll jump in off of the. If I freeze up again, wave your hand. And I'll jump on my phone. Any questions? Somebody have their hand up? Anybody? Any questions? Anybody? No? All right, cool. Thaisa, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Hi, it's Abigail here. So I have a question.
Abigail! I forgot.
I know, I'm sorry. My camera on.
She just took the Enneagram. Go ahead. I wish you had your camera on.
I know, I don't, because when the call started, I was driving.
That's okay.
But I have a question. So I have my top score, and then for the second and third ones, I'm tied between 2 others on the second and then the third one. So are you basically a mix of your top 3, or is it just your top score?
Usually you are mainly the top number. That's the core of your personality. And the others probably are things that stand out in your personality that along the way you learned to use those tools as well, and you learned from experience to incorporate those in your core as strength. Usually those other 2 numbers are very connected to your first number. Very rarely they're going to be completely opposites. So is that you scored the most, and then what the other 2s are. but usually you're mainly one thing. But like I said, the goal of the Enneagram is for you to identify that, but actually be a little quilt. And you do want to be not just one thing. You want to be a little bit of everything. And that's, so you're probably in the right track.
Yeah, and Abigail, I know you just took it yesterday. So when you start reading down, it'll give you a little bit more explanation, and you'll catch yourself going on YouTube, watching a lot of the videos I did. And I'm just now getting into it. I'm so excited about it. So I'm glad you spoke up. I forgot. I wanted you to talk about your own. And by the way, when I saw it, it wasn't a shock at all. If you would, when I first met Abigail, just somewhat soft-spoken, but I could just tell where she was going to fall as the helper. You were the helper, right, Abigail?
Yeah, I was the helper, and then the next one, it was a tie between the loyalist and the enthusiast.
And
which makes sense. Like,
well, and when I met Abigail, she's transitioning out of another career in a healthcare and spa and that kind of thing. And so I'm bringing her in for a project that I have, and she is perfect for it. And when I saw that Enneagram, I said, I thought so. I felt it. And so, yeah. So
awesome.
When you study, when you read and study, or do like Fred said, if you watch some videos, the important thing about the Enneagram, now understanding yourself, is there's the strength and the stress, but there's also the wings. So that means that you can pull from, if you're the helper, you have a lot of things that you can pull from me, the perfectionist, from 1 and from 3, which is like Fred, the achiever. So your wings are very strong. Your wings are the achiever and the reformer.
Yay!
So yeah,
Abigail, we're gonna kill it, Abigail.
Yeah. So once you study more and you understand what is the growth, what is the stress, and what is the wings, what those bring to you, it's unbelievable. You love it.
Yep. Perfect.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? What? Hey, everybody, was that a great information today? Powerful information. Joe, can you put in the chat the Google Docs? Can you grab that quickly? Or I know it's been a while since you. Let me see if I can. I would love you all to upload your Enneagram there, and if you take it, send it to me. I'll upload if you're not sure. But let me just quickly go in here. What did you find it, Joe? I forgot. Let me just see. My bad. I should have had it up. Darn it. Anyway, send it to me. If you take one, if I have your permission to post it, and then I'll get did you find it, Joe?
This most one?
Yeah. Send them that folder. I think that should work. There it goes. Let me just see if that goes there. I think it should. Because in there, let's just see, which one is that in shared? I think, we had it where, the registry, that's where it is, posted in there, folks, the one that Joe just put up. And then I'll organize them in a folder for everybody, because that'll be a lot of fun, because I really want to get more into this for this group. So, okay, cool. Anybody else? While you have this, anybody else? Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm going to go to these fantastic meetings. See you all later. Rose, thank you. Thaisa, thank you. Abigail, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
As always, Tiffany and Joe, thank you. And Sonny, thank you.